So to start off this first episode, we're actually going to be starting off pretty big. One of the things I always end up doing to find out these different locations is researching online. And one of the things that came out prominently was a place called Nonno21. And it's located over in the Seoul district, not too far off from where I am. Now, it's actually really close to the Nambu bus terminal, which is on the orange line on line 3. From reading this place, it seemed like a pretty big thing, but whenever I actually got to it, to say the word overwhelming would be an understatement. Whenever you get off of the Nambu bus terminal, just head in a straight line from exit 3 and you'll see a place that I found 3 different names for. I've seen it as the International Electronics Center, the National Electronics Center, or the most popular one was the Kukje, that's Kukje Electronics Center. It's about 14 floors of just cameras, microphones, audio equipment. But on the 9th floor, it's completely devoted to games and anime stuff. I mean, it's an entire floor devoted to it. Whenever I got there, I wasn't expecting something so huge, but it was. I spent probably about 3 to 4 hours. I mean, the first hour alone was just gathering up everything before I even started filming. I tried to find a floor plan of this place, but I can't get anything available. But I mean, it's a pretty decent size. In total, I counted about 30 plus different vendors. The most prominent ones obviously being Nonno21, but there's also one called Figure Presso, which was like a coffee and figure store. They didn't really have any coffee though. In T-Mall, and a lot of other smaller vendors. The name of the game here really is One Piece, and then Love Live, and then Dragon Ball Z. For whatever reason, Love Live and Dragon Ball Z are really prominent there. I mean, I've already kind of seen One Piece is the most popular thing here in Korea, but you know, you're also going to find smaller, more niche things there too, like Monogatari and Ava. Another really popular thing I saw here was the Kankoli, that Kantai collection anime and game. It's just where Japanese battleships are turned into schoolgirls for whatever reason. So, you know, you've got a pretty diverse selection here. You're working with, like I said, about 30 plus stores. That includes your figures, you've got your manga and magazines and art books. It's also got a pretty large selection of games from PlayStation 4 to Xbox to Wii. So you've got most platforms involved. You also got really smaller things like shirts, memorabilia, merchandise, as well as Opie mouse pads and Dakimakuras. Even some smaller vendors had specific adult figures. They looked weird, but they were there. So it's a pretty big selection. Honestly, from the research I've done so far and the filming in other locations I've done previously, this is the biggest one I can find in Seoul. That might change, but as of right now, this is going to be the best place to find what you need. Obviously, there's more research that needs to be done on this, but it's a pretty good start. Just looking at the footage here, you've got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of just figures. I wasn't expecting something so big and something so small. So it's really a treasure box. Now, if you're interested in actually seeing more specifically what this place has to offer, there is a website for Nonno21. It seems like you can actually do ordering online. Unfortunately, the entire website's mostly in Korean. You can do some translation work on it, but all the links are going to be directly in Korean, so you can't really have any much help there unless you can speak or read Hangul for that matter. Um, but it's not that far of a trip. I mean, I'm located in Mappo, and it took me maybe 35 minutes to get there by subway, so it's not that dramatic of a trip. Uh, Honestly, I'd probably go here more times than not. Maybe 3 times a month if I could, just because of how big the selection is. I mean, I plan on bringing other people there too, just so they can see how big of a place we're dealing with. You're also dealing with smaller things too. Obviously, Gundam's going to have a preset, but you're going to have model shops in there if that's your thing. You've got cars and battleships and remote control stuff, and you've got your really niche stuff like older kind of retro games. So there's a little bit of everything here for kind of more of a, I guess, geek culture, if you want to call it that. Honestly, the only problem that I saw here was that there is kind of fixed prices. They don't do too much work with bargaining. If you have cash, bring it, because that's going to be more of a chip to use than using your card. Different vendors have different prices. Honestly, if I could kind of base it off of the Google way of doing it, you're looking at anywhere from $2 signs to about $4 signs, depending on what you're getting. But it's a wide enough selection that you can probably find multiple varieties of the one specific thing you're looking for. And you might even be surprised by some things you're looking for. Honestly, I went there not expecting to get anything, but I ended up finding a Space Dandy figure that was really, really well done, and it wasn't too expensive either. Luckily enough, the won to dollar ratio is very good right now, so you can always get an extra little pull left and right your way. But I'm not sure when different people do different stocks. It all seems to be independent people. There's not really any direct kind of corporation thing, so you kind of get that mom and pop aesthetic if that's what you're looking for, which really does help with bargaining if you can get them to kind of work with you. But all in all, you're for such a barren city for this kind of stuff, you're working with what you got. I'd honestly give this place, just because of how overwhelming it is, I'd give it like an A minus to just a solid A with how wide of a variety it was. I mean, you're going to see later on there's some other places in Seoul that are similar to this, but they're so much smaller and they're more specific stores. I'm probably going to do the next episode on the Gundam base. There's about 4 in the city, and there's a variety of different things in there, but you're going to mostly just find Gundam stuff, and more so Gundam building sets where you work on a figure and create it. Which seems to be pretty popular here, strangely enough. But really, that's all for now. Like I said, I'm going to provide some of the links where I got some of the information here. A lot of my reading I found on Reddit, and then the map works I got was through maps.me. Obviously, the translational help was through Google, but all the footage you see here is what I gathered a few days ago while I was out scouting it, and I mean, I probably have about 40 to 50 minutes worth of footage, but obviously that's not going to be something too entertaining just to watch store after store after store. But if you're in Seoul and you're looking for a specific anime, manga, whatever merchandise, come to the Kukje Electronics Center. It's right at the Nambu bus terminal. It's straight out of exit 3. You're going to see it right there on your right, and you're not going to be disappointed. I mean, it was everything and more that I could have hoped for. So, I'm just going to leave you with some more footage here, just so you can kind of see the variety that we're looking at. But it's a wonderful, wonderful store. But come in probably next week or so, and I'll have another one up. It's going to be more or less likely going to be about the Gundam bases. I just need to go around the city and get some more footage of that, but I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you again soon.